Now it's time to get into it because this was headline worthy. Like, you just got one of the best pass rushers, arguably in the league, within Matthew Sudon from the New England Patriots, right? For an exchange of basically a bag of chips. This dude had, if I'm not mistaken, nearly over 30 sacks his 3 years in New England. And when you get a guy like that, obviously you well needed it. That's why you made the move, but you didn't even give up much. Like, you still got your first rounds, you still got your second round picks. It's like, okay, third round, take it, whatever. We'll roll the dice with him. What was your over? And then before I even ask that, you signed one of the best safeties in football, arguably top five, definitely top 10 in Justin Simmons, 4-time, all pro safety. What was your overall reaction to acquiring not one, but both of them less than 72 hours, less than 1 week?
I think the only reaction is it's pretty firm now that the Falcons think they have a team that can either contend or I mean, I think maybe they thought they had a contender and now they're trying to take things to the next level. They had a team that thought that could be a winning team, and they're trying to turn a winning team into possibly a team that's contending for a championship. And when you bring in a guy like Matthew Sudon, a guy like Justin Simmons, that's kind of the signal that you're doing, because these are guys that are in their 30s. They're established veterans. You know what you're getting already. And the defense for the Falcons was the big question mark, because as we spoke about before, Shay, they did a great job in the offseason. Terry Fontenot, the GM, did a great job in the offseason, bringing in a Kirk Cousins, bringing in Darnell Mooney, and fixing that offense and making it, a team, like I said, that could be possibly a top 5 or 10 offense in the entire NFL this coming year. But the defense is not something that they really addressed aggressively. They did get some good defensive linemen in the draft. One of them, an outside linebacker and edge, Braylon Trice, their 3rd-round pick, actually he just came up with a knee injury at the preseason game in Miami, and he's out for the season. So that also necessitated some kind of a move. They needed to do something, because that was one of the guys they were going to depend on to rush the passer. So the Falcons have not had a double-digit sack leader since 2016 when Vic Beasley was in Atlanta. It's been a minute since the Falcons have had a guy that can get to the quarterback. They've been one of the worst teams pressuring the quarterback over the last few years. Over the last 5 seasons, the Falcons have had 23 fewer sacks than any team in the league. I mean, they're the worst team as far as sacks, over for a half decade. So they didn't do anything really in the offseason to address that. And that was one of the criticisms of taking Penix. It was like, well, you could have taken an edge. You could have taken a pass rush for that number 8 pick, and you didn't do it. But now Terry Fontenot has redeemed himself, and they have gotten Matthew Sudon from the New England Patriots, as you mentioned, for a 3rd-round pick. And, that's not nothing, but Matthew Sudon is one of the best pass rushers over the last several years in the NFL. He's right up there in every category. Dude had 15.5 sacks 2 seasons ago. He missed most of last season with a torn bicep, but in his 4 games that he played, he had 4 sacks. So this is a guy that puts sack numbers on the board. And that is something that Atlanta has needed for so long, going back to that Super Bowl team. It's been that long since they've had a guy like Matthew Sudon. Now, what happens after this year, I don't know. He doesn't have a contract for 2025 yet. I'm not sure what they do, but for 2024, he's going to be in Atlanta. And then Justin Simmons, you pair him with Jesse Bates, and now we're talking about potentially the best combination of safeties in the entire league. I mean, Jesse Bates, Madden 25, highest rated safety, right? And now you add Justin Simmons, who has had more interceptions than anyone in the league over the last several years. So it's been an incredible 48 hours for Falcons fans, because they don't usually see their team do stuff like this. These are big moves to make what was going to be probably a pretty good team into potentially a great team. And there's a lot of excitement right now in Atlanta, and you can probably hear it in my voice. It's been fun to watch this develop, and now we get to see how they play together. Again, we haven't seen Sudon and Simmons even practice yet. They haven't even been in the building yet in Flowery Branch. Hopefully, we'll see them on Monday for practice. They play. The Falcons are off on Friday. They play a preseason game on Saturday at noon against Baltimore in Baltimore. I don't think any starters are going to play in that game, Shay. Raheem Morris really hates the preseason. Hates it. I mean, he really
doesn't.
And so I think we'll see, potentially Simmons and Sudon suiting up in Falcons uniforms on Monday for practice. So it's really exciting right now.
Don't let them stop you. Back against the wall, beating all the odds. Yeah, are you gonna score when it's time to ball? Overcome your fears. Never thought you'd make it this far. Power on overdrive. Your hunger won't let you fall. Doors opening up like a butterfly. Opportunities here.